Leute.
Hi. First of all, congrats on the film. I loved it. And both of you have been part of Scream 5 and are now back on Scream 6. And I would love for you to compare the first day on Scream 5 with the last day on set of Scream 6, and maybe how different these days were.
I mean, you were there on the first day and the last day. I
Yeah.
wasn't there on the first day of Scream 5 because that was her shooting the opening sequence.
Yeah.
But we did shoot the last day of Scream 6 together in the bodega.
That was
which
so
fun.
nice.
It
Yeah,
was so fun.
we ended on such a good sequence. I feel like the last day on Scream 6 was very bittersweet, I think, just
Yeah.
because it was nice to be together again, and we had done it again. We had such a beautiful time on the first one that we didn't know if we were able to pull it off 2 times in a row, and we did. So I think there was definitely a lot of celebrating and kind of relief and excitement about the whole experience. But the first day of Scream 5, I definitely felt like I was gonna throw up. That was one of like the most stressful work days of my life. Yeah, trying to do like some iteration of a Drew Barrymore performance is terrifying.
I can imagine that. And this is an R-rated movie, as are all the Scream films. I was wondering, how was your experience with R-rated films when you were growing up? Were you allowed to watch them?
I loved watching R-rated movies in secret. I would like go to sleepovers at my friends' houses and watch like R-rated scary movies, not because of like sexually R-rated, but because of like the goriness of R-rated. And I was really into it. I was really into like blood and gore and ghosts and like all of that stuff when I was younger.
I've always been very into gore as well, but I was a big scaredy cat when I was younger. And I think a lot of it was I grew up in like a very religious household, so I think that anything spiritual or anything like that really
Right.
got to me just because that was something that I was hearing every day, but it was the if I
Well,
did watch it was
to
the
this day, I cannot watch any exorcism. Like demons are the scariest thing for me because I
Yeah.
also grew up Catholic, and I feel like that's like there's a line drawn. I can watch anything. I can watch someone saw their arm off.
decapitations,
Yeah,
anything.
but when it's like a demon
it.
like possessing someone, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. And I feel like in a lot of horror movies, at least in the past, the women often have to be the damsel in distress kind of. And what I love about Scream is that this has never been the case because the female roles were always the fighters, as in Scream 6. I was wondering, is that something you are looking for in a role, this kind of characteristics?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think yeah, well, I mean, I feel like horror in part of the reason why I love the horror genre in general is just because the final girl is such a key component to a good horror film and a good slasher and what gets people going, and they become some of the most iconic characters in film ever.
Yes.
So I think that, you know, having seeing women in that light and seeing them be strong and get their hands dirty and get ugly, it's true and it's accurate to the real world and it's what people want to see, and I think that that's why it's so successful. And if it were kind of branded out against all genres, or you know, you saw more characters like that in any type of film, I also think that we would probably see a spike in success because it's cool.